Good evening, my friend. Welcome to the show. It is so good to see you virtually. Not that I can see you because that would be weird, but to see you again. It has been some time, and sorry I have been away. We'll get to that. If you are watching live, thank you so much for being here. You have no idea how much it means that you're spending and sharing some of your Wednesday night with me, with us, as part of the community in the clubhouse. If you're watching on the replay, be sure and join us every Wednesday night right here at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a thing. I want to be getting to the parks again very, very soon, so definitely stay tuned for that. Lot to cover tonight. I want to get a couple of things out of the way very quickly. I promised myself I'm going to keep it together, but you are family. I have said that since day one of the show. You are not, I don't like the fan word, certainly not, but you're more than friend. You are family, and you have demonstrated that in spades this week. I'm sure you may have seen in the clubhouse and on my personal profile on Facebook, my mom passed away last week after being in the hospital for about 9 months. I'm a very private person. I keep a lot of things very, very, very close to the vest. Some of my very close friends will certainly attest to that. It has been something that I have been dealing with privately. And then after a very long, very, very difficult battle, she was called home and rejoined my father. And the outpouring of love, and I'm not putting my glasses on because I can't read the comments because then I'll really lose it, but the outpouring of love and support and friendship in both little things like a like or a comment or a text, a message, delivering matzo ball soup and cupcakes and cards, the flowers that you collectively as a clubhouse sent to the funeral. I know some of you came down, which was mind-boggling, and the people who were there represented all of you, and I'm okay. I'm in a good place. I've been sort of anticipating this for a while, and I'm happy to know that my mom is finally she is at perfect peace, and she's doing her thing up there with my dad and family. But I wanted to say thank you to you. I don't throw words around like love and friendship. I don't throw those around lightly. And you are my friends, and I do love you, and I appreciate you. And you very much helped me get through what was an extremely difficult time for me and for my family. And I posted in the group, I kept it together for 9 months, because when things like this happen, I sort of just go into go mode. When my dad got sick, the same thing happened. I don't give myself time to be upset and to grieve, because there's things that I have to do. There's things I have to take care of when you start to take on, a different role in your family. And when I got to the funeral, I'm going to cry again. When I got to the funeral home, I smiled because it's a defense mechanism. When I got to the funeral home and I saw your flowers, that's when I lost it. And I don't know why, other than just I felt the love and the hug from you. And for that, I will never forget that. I will never forget what you did. So thank you to all of you who have been so kind and so patient and so caring during this time. So thank you for that. Thank you. So see, now look, so my mom never really kind of got, like, sometimes she would tune into the show. Sometimes she would call me and be like, oh, I liked your show last night. And I'm like, no, Mom, that was the newsletter. No, I liked the podcast. So now, Mom, Dad, hopefully you guys have a pretty good front row seat. And if I do something wrong, I'm sure you will let me know. So thank you. I love you so very much. I really mean it from the bottom of my heart. And all right, I wanted to. I listen. The wise man something about keep moving forward or something like that. And the show must go on and life goes on. And the hard part really starts now. There's a lot that I have to deal with, but I missed getting a show out last week. I will tell you, the first time I ever missed putting out a show in all the years I've been doing so was, God, however many years it was back then. My dad passed away in 2010. The day that my dad passed, I actually had a book signing, and I went to it because my dad would have wanted me to go. And the very first time I ever missed a week of the show was the week my dad died. I came really, really close to getting it done, and I just couldn't sort of pull all the things together, and wasn't able to make it happen again this week. But we'll be back on track, and I appreciate your understanding and your patience. And we have a fun show this week, and we're going to talk about it tonight. And I see the love in the comments. If I start reading them out loud, I'm going to bawl like I always do. So, Mike Scabetta, I just saw your message, man. My prayers go out to you guys. So, but thank you. Like I said, I'm in a good place. I know that my mom is at rest and at peace and causing trouble up there. So, but listen, the reason why I said that is because we are family, and I love you, and I feel like you are family, and that's why I brought it up first, because I thought it was important to address it, almost sort of just, clear that out. But I have something else of importance that is not necessarily show related. It has not really a lot to do with Disney. It has to do with people. And we talk about being family and the importance of family, and we joke around and all those kind of things. But something else happened that I really feel that I need to address at the top of the show, because what happened does not happen very often, and when it does, it marks quite a milestone, not just for me, but really sort of the person who this most directly affects. And I think we all collectively need to come together. Once again, I'm going to ask you for all your love and good mojo and juju and all that kind of stuff, because I'm going to need a minute here. Because I've been thinking about this for a while, and I want you to please join me in celebrating Princess Becky's birthday today. Yay! Happy birthday, Becky. You are, I don't know, are you still like on the Mayan calendar? I don't know how many years it has been, but happy birthday. Today, September 23rd, is actually your 72nd birthday, whatever the number is. Not really important. You are the big sister that I never had. I never really wanted either, yet here you are. And I only wish that we were all together to celebrate your birthday with you. But fortunately, our family has come together. There's 300 whatnot of us here together to wish you a happy birthday. And I found some of your favorite pictures from across the globe and through the years. There's you on your royal throne. There's you at your restaurant, the Queen of Hearts Banquet Hall. There's you with your portrait of the Queen of Hearts. And then there's a few throwbacks blasting from the past. Some of the early, really the early days of the Box People and the Live. And that one picture of me, why is my arm around you? It's so weird. But that picture of us together goes way, way back. Look at us. Look at how young and beautiful we were back then. But I am sorry that I am not with you to celebrate. We will celebrate so many things in so many ways when we are finally able to get together. But I feel like I have you here with me to celebrate. And, here, wait. There you go. I brought you a cocktail. There you go, Becky. Just like when we were in Japan. There you go. That's it. One more for the road. Okay, good. Delicious. So, happy birthday, Becky Mankin, from, of course, our friends over at MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. You even get the little logo just for giggles. So, there you go. Now that we've got that out of the way, getting back on the horse, playing major amounts of catch up this week. That's why the show was a little late. Tonight's show going to be a little bit different. I don't have a top 5 live, but part of the reason why too is because there's stuff I wanted to talk about with you. There's some stuff in Disney news that I'm sure you guys want to chat about, as well as this week's show, which I would love to hear your thoughts on, especially. This week, we talked about some of those things that you can't believe ever happened in Walt Disney World. And these are not things, if you haven't listened to the show yet, these are not things that are sort of personal stories, but these were choices were made over the years by Disney in some of the attractions, events, parades, characters, some things that don't even fall within those categories, that just sort of made you say, wait, what? And I've received a number of messages already going, Mangello, I told my family this really happened and nobody believed that there were these giant, wacky, big-headed people roaming around the promenade of Epcot. I swear I remember Barbie coming into the America Gardens Theater in this gigantic 60-foot limousine that I think maybe Mickey Mouse had once before. It's true. And that picture in the bottom right, yeah, it's true. It's the Fab Four on elephants in front of Spaceship Earth. That is not a Photoshop. Those really did happen. America on Parade, Splashtacular, Scat Cat Jazz Band, all of these things were very much part of what happened. And this week we talked specifically about Magic Kingdom and Epcot Center. In part 2, we're going to talk about Hollywood Studios, a little bit about Animal Kingdom, and then some really wacky stuff that you may not even remember from Lake Buena Vista Village, Pleasure Island, call it whatever you want. But I would love to know if any of the things that we talked about this week brought back some personal memories from you, some stories that you have to share, or were you yelling at your car, your phone, whatever, saying, Mangello, how did you possibly miss this thing in Magic Kingdom? Because I know we missed this originally started out, by the way, as an idea for a top 10, and I knew very, very quickly that I could easily do a top 10 for each of the parks. So Kendall and I'm not sure if Kendall's here tonight. Kendall not only went into her memory banks, but did an amazing job with researching some of these things and sometimes trying to find photos and even documentation about some of the very short-lived things like Splashtacular. The Daredevil Circus Spectacular was here for a while, but there was a few that were sort of in and out very, very quickly. I did not mention on purpose Stitch's Supersonic Celebration because it was only there for about 5 months. Chances are, if you blinked, you missed it. But I would love to know what some of your thoughts are. Don Nicholson said, years ago, Disney sent us a Barbie doll. We just shrugged and said, Disney sent us a Barbie? And now we know why. You still have your Barbie. Listen, Don, I'm not judging the fact that you still have your Barbie dolls, but there you go. Terry Stinson Doherty still has some memories of those. Terry, I saw you posting some of the pictures in the clubhouse today. Dan Boyle says, we actually have the Castle Cake snow globe. I look at it to this day and just shake my head. Those of you who have known me for many years, pre-WDW Radio, pre-Mouse Tunes, know that I do have a personal story about the Castle Cake. I was very quickly called out on it by a number of people privately, wondering why I did not tell the story. But I may or may not have dated before getting married. I may or may not have proposed to someone else. Listen, your family, I tell you everything. I may or may not have proposed to somebody else in front of said castle cake, which was really the kiss of death. The engagement lasted like 45 minutes, so it doesn't really matter. But Becky, the big-headed dolls were so creepy. And you would walk around the promenade, or in your case, stumble around the promenade, or rickshaw around the promenade, however you make your way around the promenade, and they would just sort of be standing there, especially years ago. For a long time, Epcot was not a very busy park, which are some of the reasons why they wanted to bring these things in to be guest attractors. You'd find, like, a guy from, Saudi Arabian guy with his big head and his thing, just sort of standing out there waiting for people to go by. It was fascinating. It was very, very fascinating. So 1976-77 parade, people were very, very different. Keith Groshans, you are very strange, but you are not the only one that likes the castle cake. I've gotten this from a lot of people that they really, really enjoyed it. I think seeing it in person was a very, very different experience. Look, I remember vividly hearing about how couples were freaking out and canceling their weddings because they did not want that to be their wedding picture. I get it. I absolutely get it. But there were a lot of people who were not very happy about the castle cake. I will tell you this. I was more upset about the toilet papering of Cinderella Castle for the, I guess it was for the release, was it for the opening of Stitch, oh God, for the Stitch attraction in, I was more upset about that. I found that almost, that they were defacing the castle. I was personally offended by toilet papering the castle more so than I was with what they wanted to be was, a happy gesture and a celebration of the Pepto-Bismol cake. So, Kim says, my first trip with my now husband was with the castle cake. Took me a little bit of a while to get him to go back again. Jim O'Neill remembers Skylidoscope. Again, very, very short-lived. I still believe that, and I said it on the show this week, I still very much believe that we are going to see a daytime spectacular, which is the word they like to use to describe, fireworks shows. I believe we are going to see a daytime spectacular again in Epcot. My timing is going to probably be off because of 2020 and COVID. I think within the next 18 to 24 months. I think you're going to see it that quickly. And oh, by the way, if you happen to be in Walt Disney World, specifically staying near said Epcot Center, tonight they're testing fireworks. Draw your own conclusions, but tonight they are testing fireworks in Epcot. So take from that what you like. I'm not saying that they are new fireworks. I'm not saying that they're Epcot forever. I am also not saying that the parks are going to be open later at night relatively soon, and we are going to see nighttime fireworks spectaculars coming back to Epcot Center. However, they are testing tonight. So, Kendall Foreman, we were just talking about you. I am so sorry you were not here for the beginning of the conversation, and sort of a recap of some of the things that we remember that freaked us out from some of what we talked about. Heather says, I remember the commercials and saw pictures of the dragon boats were super cool. Like, the Splashtacular stuff looked great in theory. Again, for a lot of these things, it was really more about the execution of the concept as opposed to the concept itself. Kendall did a great job describing just how strange some of the descriptions were for these shows, specifically in Epcot, which for a long time was a park trying to find itself. They were really trying to figure out their identity. It was, from day one, not going to be a Magic Kingdom. There was no characters there. Like, Mickey Mouse was, forbidden until Eisner walks in and, where's Mickey Mouse? And they're like, oh, no, I'm sorry, Mr. Eisner, Michael, we don't have characters here. He's like, oh, you're getting characters here. Get some spacesuits on these Fab Five and get them walking around here, because just having Smart One and Orac One and these stupid robots roaming around in the park, that is not what kids want to see. And no kid is going into World Showcase to watch mom and dad liquor it up. I mean, wander around the promenade. So it was very much a Michael Eisner thing to get characters in here and trying to figure out ways to make Epcot lose the moniker of this edutainment park, because it was it had this vibe of being educational first. Look, I still miss and I regret never being able to find a way to get to the Teacher Outreach Center, which is where Art of Disney Now, up on the second floor, where they used to give to teachers all these free, count it, free resources about Walt Disney World and the history and the technology and backstage. It was only open for teachers. I would love to have seen that. Carrie was also shocked they had stitched toilet paper. I was really upset. I was really upset by that. Erin doesn't even remember the toilet paper. Not only, Erin, did they toilet paper it, but they like spray painted it too. Like, oh, Stitch, he's so mischievous. And there was like sounds of Stitch around the castle as if he was like running around still causing mischief. Listen, you want to cause mischief? That's why we created Supersonic Celebration. It lasted a few weeks. It was out of here. I'm sorry, Jason Sorrell. I know it was your baby. It just did not fly. But I did not like the toilet paper at all. At all. Stitch's great mistake, Jeremy Goff. Oh, that's right. He was on the monorail spiel. The monorail narration is what we prefer to call it. The Pink Castle clashed with the Christmas decorations. Mark, the Pink Castle clashed with everything. I mean, if they would have even chosen a different color it literally looks like they grabbed a bottle of Pepto-Bismol and was like, do that. Put that on the cake and then some jelly beans and some frosting and really just sort of like turn up the saturation to 12. That's how they came up with that color. Had it been like an off-white cake or a white cake or a blue cake, something that would not have been so in stark contrast with everything else, I think we would not be talking about it the same way. But then you have Jennifer says, look, stuff like that doesn't bother me. I enjoyed it. I knew it wasn't staying forever. I get it. I get it. Some people loved it. Some people love the castle cake and I know they used to sell some pretty tall, like collectible figures of the pink castle cake from the 25th anniversary. Again, I don't have the best memories of it. You know, it was not a great day at Magic Kingdom for me. And when the engagement was over, it's like, well, there goes Disney, never coming back to this place again. And yet here I am. So everything happens for a reason. Carlos Eduardo Silva from PontoOrlando.com and After Hours, which you can go check out at After Hours. Just look up Disney After Hours. Look up Carlos on the Facebook and go to After Hours. Or link it up, Carlos. That's fine. Tomorrow night, 9 o'clock. Imagine coming from Brazil and facing that thing. You just ran and just went to Epcot, right? The video of Regis Philbin describing Skylightoscope is quite funny. Again, it was one of those things that defied explanation because I didn't understand for a lot of things for Epcot, although it was about future technology and the improvement of mankind and humanity, where did all the sci-fi space themed stuff come from? Like, yes, there was going to eventually be a space pavilion. Horizons, you can almost say, was spacious. Like, what's with the spacesuits? Like, is that what 1984 executives said? Look, this is the future. Here's to the future. The future looks like spacesuits with rainbows on it. Like, even Mork's was red and this was pure silver. The Christos, these alien contortionists by the Fountain of Nations, very talented, weird premise. And again, and the dinosaur, and Michelle still has her pink castle shirt. Michelle, you got to post a picture of that in the Clubhouse group. Would love if you have any collectibles here. If you have any photos or collectibles about any of the things that we talked about from Magic Kingdom or Epcot Center from this week's show, please share them in the Clubhouse. I'd love to see. I didn't personally have a lot of photos from that time. Probably because I was too busy lugging around my father's gigantic video camera. It was like a TV camera, and I had the battery pack on the side. But please, if you don't mind sharing. So, Kendall, I have seen, it's called Have You Ever Eaten a Purple Potato? Or do you know what it's the Purple Potato, right? Is the Figment educational cartoon that you're talking about? I have seen it. And again, the idea for a while was they realized and wanted to capitalize on this fascination that kids had and adults had with this character that was really almost meant to be a secondary, tertiary character to Dreamfinder. And so let's leverage this and use him again for educational purposes. You can still find I think it's called Have You Ever Eaten a Purple Potato? And it's starring Figment. So there you go. Jim Rohosky can hear Stitch's laugh now. I never dug it. Get Jack Wagner's voice back on that monorail, please. Patricia Knapp, I agree. The toilet paper was insulting. It did not belong on the castle at all. The castle cake was not sponsored by Sherwin-Williams. It almost looked like the color of Mattel when Mattel was sort of in their 80s Barbie phase. And if you look at the photo that I posted, that pink limousine with Sorcerer Mickey and Magic Kingdom started off for the anniversary there. It was repainted even a deeper, more saturated pink color. You can see in the top left, because Barbie is sitting on that very same Lincoln Stretch limo, make it a super stretch, in Epcot Center for the Magical World of Barbie show, which, again, Disney realized we've got to find a way to make this park attractive to kids. Kids did not really love Epcot unless you were a nerd like me, because there wasn't a lot to do there. There wasn't a lot to see there, and there was nothing that was familiar because there were no characters. None of the attractions really were geared towards a younger audience, so the interest level waned very quickly. A lot of parents never even got to World Showcase because their kids were bored by the time they hit, Pavilion 2. Look, the Seas with Nemo and Friends was the living seas, and it rained, the deluge. I love it. You love it. The hydrolators that didn't go anywhere. Kids could have cared less. There was no Bruce the Shark. There was no sense of whimsy at all in Epcot Center. So I get why choices were made. Again, it was the 80s, so do the math. But Jim first went to Epcot Center in 1991. Dave Shoney, it was my first kid's trip. The castle was half painted. It looked so weird. Went back the next year when it was done. And Dave, if you remember, the back of the castle, the Fantasyland side of the castle, was not fully painted pink. So the windows around Cinderella's Royal Table / King Stephen's Banquet Hall were not painted pink. And I don't know why, because it always looked like it was completely unfinished. And I don't know if it was because it was going to intrude on the guests sitting by the window having their very expensive breakfast and lunch. I'm not sure, but if you look, the castle was really never finished. Of course, Heather says one of my favorite pictures was my picture of Goofy in his rainbow spacesuit, which I'm sure you're going to share in the Clubhouse because I need to see it. Becky still can't get over the big doll heads. Becky, these big doll heads were not just found in Epcot. So if you look at the top right, that picture is from America on Parade. These were utilized over and over and over again, and they actually created in Central Shops even more for the grand opening of Epcot Center. And from what I understand, there were about 150 different ones there. So imagine running across that late at night. Like, I can't stop looking at the Canadian Mountie and the girl from France with her, you know, National Lampoon Vacation beret on her head. But yeah, they were a thing for a while. And you're right, Curtis, how great would it be to be in the room when these ideas were getting thrown around and someone going, yeah, that's what we need. Put really, really, no. Make those heads bigger. Make those heads bigger. Don't let the eyes move. Don't let anything move. It's just let them just stare into the black, dead eyes of all these dolls. Yeah, let's get these kids some nightmares when they go home. So, Aaron says, as somebody who was obsessed with Barbie, I'm sad I never got to experience Barbie in Epcot Center. They actually not only had the Barbie show, they had Barbie merch. Like, you could buy a shortened version of the Barbie limo. They had Barbie and some of her international friends. I think there was maybe 4 or 5 different Barbies. Ask Donald Nicholson, because I think he has the entire collection. I'm not judging. I'm just saying. But I know that they did have, like, her and, what was it, Sandy, Scamp, Ken, I don't know, whoever they were. Clearly not a Barbie collector, but I know that they had a number of different ones. So Steven says, veggie, fruit. Steven, veggie, fruit was not even weird enough to make the list, which says a lot about our list, because there was some very, very interesting stuff. Same thing for Magic Kingdom too. Some of the things they had in Magic Kingdom, I still, if you remember when Mickey's Birthday Land opened, it was supposed to, they literally built Mickey's Birthday Land in like 4 months because it was meant to be a very temporary, not even land, almost an exhibit. And it was so successful that they're like, we need to repaint these facades and get some more stuff in here. Do we have any extra animals laying around? Yeah, I need some ducks, goats, and find me a cow and just paint a hidden Mickey. They didn't. It looked like a hidden Mickey and Minnie Moo. And there was Grandma Duck's petting farm, like way pre Disney's Animal Kingdom Conservation Station, Rafiki's Planet Watch, call it what you will. There was a petting farm in Magic Kingdom, which made me think, Kendall, how did we leave off the Donald Duck 50th anniversary and the parade of Donald and the little trained baby ducks with little Donald Duck hats attached to their little duck heads? Charlie Ridgway, may you rest in peace. It was brilliant because all these years later, we're still talking about it. Still not the wackiest thing that you ever saw. I still think that the antique store and the silversmith and the perfumery was a little bit weird. And actually, I still have my perfume bottle. It's up there somewhere. I loved Kitchen Cabaret. I loved Food Rocks. There'll be no picking on veggie, fruit. Don't get me started. I'm that close, just because I'm completely sleep deprived. That if those dolls and Zach Brown were the winning idea, the Blue Sky meeting must have been brutal. Right? Imagine the stuff that got left on the shelves that was probably close, that maybe lost because of budget, time, whatever it might be. Just how wacky some of the different ideas. Whatever happened to the cow? Derek, the Minnie Moo did sadly pass away. I don't believe she was brought to Le Cellier or anywhere else. Tone Loc was Fudd Rapper. F-U-D. It was Fudd Rapper. So, like, where is Tone Loc today? Because after he did Ace Ventura, you never heard from him again. So I always wonder, like, Tone Loc, Kajagoogoo, like all these like 1-2 hit wonders. Look, are they walking around now like wandering into their local Burger King or Taco Bell or Walmart going, and I almost did a really bad Tone Loc impression. It was like, hey man, I'm Tone Loc. Like, remember me? Like, I'm the Kajagoogoo. I'm the too shy guy. Or like, what are they doing now? Like, I almost wish I could do another podcast, which is like, where are they now? Like 80s, folks from the 80s and the 70s that had their, like, where's Nina from 99 Luft Balloons? 99, I almost started saying that too, but you know what anyway, way off base. Chloe Willett said, I still wish I had the We Want the Redhead chant in Pirates. Hans and Franz and Cranium Command. Yeah, Cranium Command was like Timekeeper in Magic Kingdom, one that was, I think it was a great show, but very much by its own design and definition locked into a moment in time. And so the Timekeeper could have been could have continued on longer, but it was Rhea Perlman. It was, and I love Jeremy Irons. He's timeless. But when you had Boys to Men singing Motown Philly in the middle of this wonderful attraction, you've instantly locked it into a specific time. And as time goes on, Motown Philly doesn't necessarily hold up very, very well. So you date that attraction instantly, as I think that you did with the choices of the A, B, C list celebrities that they chose for Cranium Command, and really a lot of things in the Wonders of Life Pavilion, which we wouldn't even touch on because there was some interesting things in there as well, which is why it's not there as well. Kevin Lively, good to see you. Speaking of smart, talented folks right there. Let's see. Emma Cooley, it's nice to see you. Nina is still pretty famous in Germany still. Now tomorrow, if I happen to get in my car, which I don't do very often, if I put on pants and get in my car, I need to play the original German version of 99 Luftballons. I saw Tone Loc in concert a couple years ago at the Bangles. Susanna Hoffs, if you're watching, I still have a little bit of a crush on you. Just saying. I will walk like an Egyptian. Anyway, but yeah, like I would love to see, when we get back to it, Flower Power, Garden Rocks concert series, bring back like Tone Loc, Kajagoogoo, Nina, the Bangles, the Go-Go's, Vacations, all I ever wanted. Vacation happened. Whatever. Sorry. Don't judge Motown Philly and my teen days, but Sherry, that's it, right? So it was just sort of, and if you sort of take that out, Timekeeper, because Robin Williams is timeless, Timekeeper could have continued on, I think, for much longer. Because I liked the Timekeeper attraction. I certainly loved Robin Williams as well. Lonnie Ballesteros, so good to see you, man. Long time. Michelle, I'm doing well, thank you. I have Nina on my phone. Karen, that's weird. Oh, you mean the song, 99 Luftballons. Yeah, Dave was showing me my DJ days are walk like an Egyptian right to the frothy ramen booth. Somebody says Hoffs still makes music. Now I know what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the night, looking up Susanna Hoffs music. And I think I am 81.4% sure, and I can't remember her name, but I don't know why to maybe just think of this. The guitarist from the Go-Go's, had short curly black hair, actually starred in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. She played, I think, like Joan of Arc in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I'm, again, 77.286% sure. So, Christina Kronowski says, Susanna Hoffs, my husband. Hey, Christina's husband, back off, man. I called her first, hoping she's a Disney fan and comes to play at Garden Rocks. Remember concerts in Disney World? Remember those? That the Hoff is very popular in Germany. Jane Wyman, bass player. There you go. I am almost 14% sure. Yes, I know the numbers are going way down again. So, yeah, she was Joan of Arc. Sure. I have not seen the new Bill and Ted, by the way. So, all right. Anything else? Did we miss anything else in terms of our weird, wacky things that you saw, remembered, that we left off of our list? Obviously, we were going to cover Disney's MGM / Hollywood Studios, Disney's Animal Kingdom, and the many interesting things that came and went from the Lake Buena Vista, Walt Disney World Village, Pleasure Island, pre-Disney Springs days. So, yeah. So there you go. Jane Weedland, that's it. That's her. Little crush on her, too. again, it was the 80s. It's like the years of crushes. And by the years of crushes, I mean basically from 1971 to 2020, but that's beside. Yes, Jane Weedland was Joan of Arc. I'm so happy I did not embarrass myself with that. I mean, usually I embarrass myself with other things too. So, Kate Wallace, don't go hating on Mannequin's Dance Palace at Pleasure Island. I spent a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of lonely nights at Mannequin's Dance Palace, which I still spend a lot of time there. It's just called the Forbidden Lounge at Morimoto Asia at this point. So the more things change, the more they stay the same. So, but if you dig this week's show, please, please, please do me a favor. When you are done here tonight, or if you can multitask, have multiple devices, do me a favor. Spread the word, share it out on the Twitter, the Pinterest, the Facebook, wherever you might think somebody would enjoy it, and invite your friends too to come and be part of the community and the conversation here in the clubhouse as well. So, all right, let us move on from there. Like I said, I don't have a top 5 live tonight. I will tell you that I do have, however, a pick of the week. And I know the pick of the week has really become more of a pick of multiple weeks because I missed last week. Last week's pick of the week was Who Framed Roger Rabbit? And in the interest of full disclosure, I did not, for obvious personal reasons, did not have as much time to prepare for a conversation about it. But I will tell you that I did watch it relatively recently. And I still think, and we can maybe save this for a conversation in the clubhouse where I'd love to hear your thoughts about Who Framed Roger Rabbit. If you did your homework and happened to tune in, I still think Roger Rabbit holds up, not just because of the effects and how sort of groundbreaking they were at the time. And if you watch on Disney Plus, if you watch Prop Culture, the episode specifically about Who Framed Roger Rabbit, they'd really give you some insight into just how difficult it was and time consuming it was to film a lot of those segments. But I think just it's a neat story. And I love the way that it's told. And I think that finale scene where they have not just the Disney characters and the Warner Brothers characters coming together, it shows that we can all get along if the money is right. But it's I still dig Roger Rabbit a lot. I don't know if anybody had a chance to watch it. Wait, Becky actually has seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I would love to know your I'd love to know your thoughts on Roger Rabbit. And have you seen it like that's relatively sooner? Kendall Foreman is really jonesing for Black Cauldron. I can tell you that this week's show is not going to be Black Cauldron. I do have a new pick for this week. Colin Kendall for Guide, the number 4, WDW says, I love Roger Rabbit. Really clever story, incredibly unique. And as I said in the past, I think even on this week's show, the idea for Roger Rabbit was for him to have a huge, huge presence in the parks. If somebody can quickly look up for me, I think I did an entire show about, it was either Roger Rabbit in the parks or the Hollywood Studios that never was, and the plans for Roger Rabbit's Hollywood Land, where Sunset Boulevard currently sits. You were going to have Baby Herman, the baby runaway buggy ride. There was going to be a lot of stuff there. And this was sort of Michael Eisner's, this was his, grand plan, was to make Roger Rabbit the next Mickey Mouse. I think it would have been really interesting to see, had they not had the legal battles in terms of licensing with Spielberg and Amblin, just how different not just Hollywood Studios would look, but how the parks and merchandising would look as well. Yeah, it's not just because I like Jessica. So Amanda Bonner from DisneyTravelForAll.com. If you haven't checked her site and podcast out, what are you waiting for? I mean, don't do it right now, but as soon as we're done, go check her out as well. Colin, there was supposed to be a second, so there was actually there was a script. I think there was even like a rewrite of the script. It got relatively far along from what I said, but it came down to licensing and money. and it literally it killed the franchise as a whole. And there was actually like Roger Rabbit walk around characters. He was in parades. He was in shows. Let me just say, Roger sort of bounced around the park very quickly because you might see him in a parade 1 minute, and then you'd see him in Who Framed. You'd see him in Hollywood's Pretty Woman like 5 minutes later. So, and I think the film still holds up. I too, Eric, love the Piano Dueling Ducks, and Zach Brown from the Zach Brown Show says, I highly recommend the making of a featurette for Roger Rabbit. Fascinating stuff. Emma Cooley says, Roger Rabbit is great. Love that movie. I wonder if you have kids, younger kids, if you showed them Roger, or if you have shown them Roger Rabbit, what does a younger generation think of Roger Rabbit now? Like, my kids have seen it and they dug it. I don't know if they would watch it now, if they would feel the same way, because they're 15 and 16. And that's not to say that my kids still actually sit down and watch movies with us when the duct tape holds. So David Potts says it's show 327. So thank you for that, Dave. Appreciate it. Steve says, love Roger Rabbit. The sad thing about the Black Cauldron was that the books were so much better. Great storytelling. Disney needs to try it again. I know Don Hahn has talked about that. I think even when I had Don on and we were talking about Howard, it might have been sort of when I was not recording. We talked a little bit about Black Cauldron. Ask Carlos about Jessica. I probably should not ask him on this family-friendly G-rated show because I don't want to make it weird. So, Valerie Seidel, The Dip. I thought that that Doc Brown, Emmett Brown, and I know that's not his name, was I think he was a great non-sympathetic villain in Roger Rabbit. Bob Hoskins' performance was amazing. How difficult must it have been for him, and he pulled it off beautifully. Mark, do you know who was supposed to originally play the role that Bob Hoskins eventually got? There was somebody else that was originally meant to play that role. Maybe I'll make that the trivia question this week if nobody gets it. Tim Brown, are you really at the Boathouse right now? I hope you are telling them that Lou sent you. I don't know if it's going to actually do anything, but I would tell him that Lou sent you anyway. It's been a long time since I've been to the Boathouse. You want to know why it's been so long? Because if only anybody would want to go to the Boathouse with me. Like just, a nice dinner, maybe a drink, sunset by the water. Nobody wants to go. I can't get anybody. I'll just go by myself. It's fine. Roger Rabbit's ending scared me so bad as a little kid that I haven't seen it since. It's on my list to watch. So, Kendall, I keep thinking about doing, like, maybe with the nation, like a live watch party where, we say, okay, we're going to start at 8 o'clock and we're going to count down 8:05. We're all going to sort of hit play on our Betamax players and do almost like a Mystery Science Theater, like Zoom call watch of a movie. I don't know if anybody would be interested in doing something like that. If you're part of the nation and would be interested, like post in the nation group and let me know. And maybe we'll do that for one of our future. Zach, I got your message. Kevin says Prop Culture 107 was an amazing backside look at Roger Rabbit. I agree. It's actually one of my favorite episodes of Prop Culture. Because I loved it, yet it didn't make me cry as much as Muppets and Mary Poppins. So I got the benefit of the value of the entertainment without all of the childhood memories and tearfulness. So don't joke about the Betamax. I just told my mom it was okay to toss that machine. Jason Knapp from here with the magic.com and the after hours on Thursday nights. Listen, as somebody who has just spent an inordinate amount of time cleaning out one of his mother's houses, including 2 storage units, knowing that there's not just one, but 2 more, including the big one ahead. Borderline hoarders. It would not have surprised me to see a Betamax there because I found, I should have posted this. I don't know what they were thinking, but let me see if I can quickly find the picture. They had in one of their many, many, many hidden closets they had these two video professor guides. One, learn eBay, your 2 free CDs, and learn wireless networking. So clearly, my mom and dad felt that they needed to learn how to use the eBay by watching a 3-disc set, which they never opened. So that's going to be on my auctions this week. Not really, but I do have auctions coming up this week. Actually, there's auction going on right now. Go check them out. And www.com/eBay. So no, there are no grease. Again, I have the one and only copy of the grease tape. It is locked away in a place that no one in my family even knows because I don't trust anybody. Yes, I have major trust issues with everybody. It is locked away in a place that nobody can find it. So God forbid if I do like collapse tomorrow, I have to have no fears of that tape ever seeing the light of day. It is going to be buried with me, in my rosary in one hand, the grease tape in the other, and then, so not to get overly morbid, but yeah, that's what's happening. So, Fireball and Mystery Science Theater combination would be great. Wait, Becky, what did you say? You want more Fireball? All right, if you insist. Give it to me. Okay. As long as the Becky puppet's happy, then I'm happy too. So, listen, the grease tape, maybe I'll allow it to be shown at, I've already told my family, like, not to be morbid, but I don't want my family to go through what I just had to go through in terms of my mom. Like, when I go, you're all invited. Like, my wake is going to be a swinging wake. Like, not only is my coffin going to have stickers and be sponsored, Becky, you better sponsor my funeral. I will haunt you. Like, I expect there to be, my coffin could be like a NASCAR car for all I care. It could be sponsored by the boat. No, I want it to be sponsored by Mouse Fan Travel, but at least make the casket blue. I want the boathouse to have a booth in the back and Wilmer to be there shucking oysters and Chef Bob to have like some sort of like specialty. And I want music and I want celebrations and all. I want a sushi bar back there too and food trucks outside. It's going to be a party. And that's all. And you're all invited, but you don't have to come because that's way too much. Like it's a schlep and it's no crying. There's no crying at all. So there you go. Anyway, sorry, I went way darker than I expected to. So the casket, Sherry says the casket's going to be Pepto Pink. Please, somebody make sure it is not Pepto Pink and it is not red and yellow and Mouse Fan Travel colors. Yes? Well, that's odd. You can have a cruise after. Who is it? I don't like this at all.
So, I have a special guest here. Can you sit down? Please sit down. You can say that.
Oh, wait a
Special guest.
hold on a second. I'm just gonna go to a cover image for a second because I'm going to a cover image because I have no idea what to expect. So hold on a second. I'm so very afraid.
You should be.
I am.
Come on, special guest. Go live. Go live. You're live?
Yes.
He's live. I need a chair. Welcome.
What?
I'll get you a chair.
Hello. This is going to come out way ruder than it's supposed to, but why are you?
There's people watching now.
Oh, did you know this?
A little.
She knew us over.
A little bit.
Oh boy.
I don't need a chair. I'll just.
Oh wow, the whole gang. Oh, okay. Well, this. Wait. Okay. Let me just.
Put yourself on.
Yeah.
I don't like any. Just so you know, I don't like any of what's going on right now. Because first of all, the two of you together ain't nothing but trouble. Number one. I'm so frightened.
You really don't know.
I really don't know. Like, I thought it was Scott Otis, which would have been like, fine, it's just annoying at best, but... And then I was like, well, maybe it's Jimmy?
Who would have been Jimmy?
I have no idea, because that's something to... Why are you both here? Like, it's... Good night, everybody.
Okay.
Wait.
So,
Wait.
a lot of you know why I'm here. So, the very first thing that I'm going to say to all of you, that's fine.
I'm going to keep this handy just in
The
case.
very first thing... Oh, what's up?
Oh, there's one open.
I bring my wine? There you go. The very first thing that I'm going to say to all of you is that if you have ever shared like you've never shared before, invite a friend like you have never invited a friend before. If you know anyone who might want to be watching this, tell them it's happening now. Okay?
I don't like...
Stop. Take a deep breath. I'm not here for any reason that
I'm so afraid.
Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Here, wait. Sorry, I guess you need that.
All right. Did you guys hear me say to invite a friend? Invite a friend? Okay. Hi. So, Deanna came by on her way home from work. Because I wanted to at least tell her first. So...
I don't know if she's laughing or crying.
She might be doing both. Look at me.
Oh, she's crying. Oh, no.
I've told you this before, but do you know why I most admire you?
My incredible good looks, warning personality, my tall, imposing stature.
So those are all top tens. So it's not how incredible you are at podcasting. It's not how creative or savvy with business you are. It's not even that you had the gumption to be a nut and walk away from a secure job in law.
Who does that?
Who does that? And talk about Disney for a living. The reason that I most admire you, and I think I've told you this before, is that your kindness and your goodness radiates outward so much that you have somehow amassed the kindest, most wonderful, chosen family of people around you that I've ever seen. And it's incredible, right? Because in the social media space, there's like drama and negativity and cynicism. And then you come into the clubhouse or the box, or I still call it the box. It's like downtown Disney, right? And it's nothing but good. And it doesn't need any policing. And it's just like this incredibly amazing group of good people who have been brought together by the kindness of you and Deanna. And like the goodness that you radiate outward has brought together this amazing group of people that has gifted all of us with family that we weren't born with, but that we got to choose.
I'm not looking at anybody. I'm looking right at the camera. I can't look at anybody's faces.
And I don't think I'm the only person who is very much definitely a better person because of you. And I didn't tell you this because you had enough going on. But when your mom passed last week, I got dozens of messages from all of these people who were desperate for a way to do something for you and to be there for you the way that you have been there for them for more than a decade. There was suddenly an opportunity to be there for you and do something for you. And like all of a sudden you were in need, and like all of these people kept reaching out to me and asking what they could do. And I didn't have a good answer because obviously you already had matzo ball soup and red wines and sake. So what did you need?
Those are the necessities of life.
They are. And So initially, I didn't have a good answer for them. But my wheels started turning, and I started to think about how I could choose the good and how I might be able to harness the power of this family that you have created and their desire to serve you in your time of need. And so my wheels started turning, and I started to think about how I could harness this and create something beautiful out of something tragic. And so I started to think about what causes mattered most to your family. And obviously, I started thinking about Make-A-Wish. And a lot of you might not know this, but Lou founded the Dream Team when he was bedside with his dad, when he was losing his father. And I thought, what a beautiful thing would it be if we could take what's happened now and further the cause. And so I made a lot of phone calls, and I found all your contacts at Make-A-Wish. Eric, if you're watching, I love you and thank you. And I started to do a sort of grassroots campaign to reach out to all of the people that I knew wanted to be there for you in some way. And if you guys don't know, Lou and Deanna founded the Dream Team Project years ago. They've raised more than $350,000 for Make-A-Wish. And how many wishes have you granted?
I don't even know. I don't even know what the number is. It's been a lot over the years.
We've tried to grant at least 2 a year since 2000 and I want to say.
Well, it's even just the families we met, not including the ones that we never even got to meet. You know?
Well, you can add one more. So since last Friday, your community has come together. And I say your community, I harnessed it, but all I did was give your people a place. And we've, as of right now, raised more than $14,000 in your mother's honor for Make-A-Wish.
I need tissues.
And I thought long and hard about whether I was going to do this live or not.
I'll get you back for this. Don't worry.
But there were so many people who wanted to see this happen. And so I'm going to give you this. Obviously, you don't have to spend a lot of time with it right now. But you guys can see it. I put this together for Lou. So many of you have sent me messages in response to my emails who gave. And obviously, there's Lou's message on the front. And inside, there's a message to you from me. And then there's just page after page after page
Yeah, don't read them.
of messages from people who love you. Disney itself gave.
Take a deep breath. So yeah, a little overwhelming.
So
I've been crying since I left Lisa's house, and she told me to stop by. Yeah. Amazing. Thank you.
So
Thank you. Thank you for being the outlet and making this happen. And thank everyone for your support and your love and your loyalty. and for granting this wish, because you're going to make a child so happy in my mother-in-law's honor. And I don't know if you know, but my mother-in-law loved kids. She lived for kids. She lived for her 2 grandchildren. And to do this in her honor is going to be a huge reward to her in her life and a tribute to her because of how much she loved children. So thank you. Everyone that donated, everyone that prayed, for all your love and support from my family. I appreciate it, so thank you. From the bottom of my heart and Lou's heart, since he can't speak right now, thank you. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for being the outlet that people were able to contact and do this for us. I truly appreciate it.
And I'll say again, like, I spearheaded this only in that I gave everyone a place to go who needed a place to go. Like, I can't tell you how many people reached out to me as word started to circulate about what had happened, and people were just desperate to do something for you. Like, all of these people who have been served by you for so long and have been helped by you and have found a family that they didn't know that they had before you. It was all that I could do, and it was a selfish act in a way, because I think, Lou, you obviously know, and Deanna, I've talked to you. I mean, especially with the state of the world right now and what happened. For myself, I wanted to be there more than I could be. I wanted to be at the funeral. I wanted to be by your side during what was happening, and I couldn't, and it was awful. And I know so many of you felt the same way. And again, so I it was an act of self-interest, in a way, because I didn't know what else to do with my desire to be there for you too, and your family. And so I made the calls I had to make and started reaching out to people. Amazing. And just gave them a place to be when they needed a way to show you in a tangible way that they were there for you. And so this is not everyone, obviously. This is just the notes that I got and compiled for you, but you can spend time with this later. I gave you this mainly as a tangible way to page through what's been done, but our initial goal was to raise $10,000 because that is the threshold to adopt a family with Make-A-Wish. We reached that goal in 2 days. I raised $10,000 in 2 days because of you guys.
It takes a village, and that's amazing.
I don't know if anyone's done it yet, but if anyone has the link is still live. It's very much live. If I wasn't able to reach out to you, I am sorry. I tried my best. Facebook Messenger has blocked me on every account because I sent so many messages in several days that I think I've been targeted as spam on every radar that Facebook has. And so I tried my best to reach out to everyone. Katie McNamara, Vanessa Prince, if you're out there, other people who were out there helping me, I love you all for helping me to reach out to people, especially when Facebook Messenger started to block me from reaching out to people. You guys did it for me, and I'm so grateful to you, but it is still very much a live link. And if somebody in the box could please make the link, please post the link in the comments. Katie, I see you're doing it now. Thank you. It's very much live, and I am hoping that the more than $14,000 that we have raised to date is only the beginning. There were so many people who wanted to see this happen that I had no choice but to go live.
So we made it happen. It's a lot to process. it took a lot today for me to process. I understand that. But can I tell you something?
If I speak, I'm gonna cry.
Don't.
That's okay. I've
I'm-
been crying
Yes.
so much.
So can I tell you something? Like, if there's anything to happen in honor of your mother as a tribute, it's this. Because she loved kids so much, and all the work that you have put in to honor a child every year, and how much she wanted to be there every year with us, and she couldn't. So this is just to set a precedent on what she loved, how she lived her life for every child, and how we will go forward in life. And she is right now shining from ear to ear, knowing that a child is going to have a wish granted in her honor.
And another half child.
Yeah. You know, it's just an amazing thing. And your mother is, it's just a testament of the love that you have created in this community. So thank you, everyone out there. Thank you for this. Like, it's huge.
Thank you guys so much. Like, when I initially started this, I had a call with Make-A-Wish at that late last week, and Eric and I were both crying on the phone at the prospect of what might be about to happen. And he was excited, and I was excited, and we were both spouting out ideas, and it was so exciting, but it was all so intangible at that point. I knew it would work because I knew you guys, and I knew how much you wanted to be there for Lou, the way he's been there for you. But still, like, going forward into it, there was some trepidation. And then all of a sudden it so quickly became reality. And that has nothing to do with me. That has everything to do with you and you. And I feel honored to have been given the chance to ask for what you never would have asked for yourself.
For sure.
I think I'm in shock.
Yeah, that was sort of
Yeah.
the expected reaction.
I
We expected that.
No one expects you to process this right now.
No.
I'm it's overwhelming. It's over, like, the whole thing has been overwhelming, and this is just, I have no words. Like, when the door knocked, this is the farthest thing. Like,
I've been downstairs the whole time.
what? I literally don't know what to. I don't have the words. Like, my it's when I saw the flower. I mean, I said, when I saw the flowers at the funeral, like, that was the first time I cried. And so many messages and everything else like that. Like, it just, I said at the beginning, like, it just sort of filled my heart in a way. Like, we use the words like family and love so much, but that's what this is. And then you go and do something like this. they're like, to say thank you doesn't. I can't.
You don't need to. It's not.
It takes a lot to make me speechless. It takes a lot to make me speechless, and I am. I'm sure as soon as you guys walk out of here and I turn the thing off, I'm going to become the blubbering idiot that I expect to.
It's okay. It's all the process.
So I will say that in doing this here, it's largely for the benefit of all of these people who gave to you and wanted to see this happen. No one is expecting you to process this right now. I think that once we finish and you can page through this beautiful book of thoughts from everyone who cares about you and
I had to
process
close it. I had to close it
You
because
can't read it. I know.
I know.
just
I-
seeing
it's
the
a lot.
names,
I
just
know,
seeing
I
the
know.
names in there,
I know.
just
But it, this was as much a service to you as it was to me and everyone else that gave, because it gave all of us an outlet and a way to express and be there for you somehow when we all needed it. And again, you guys, like the lake is I'm seeing some of the posts about what's happening, and it's amazing about the memorial. The link is still very much live. Again, if I didn't talk to you personally, the link is still very much live. And as much as we can do for Make-A-Wish in Lou's family's name and in honor of his mother, we will.
I can only say this. I'm digging my fingernails into my. As I think back on my life and some of the most important and profound and impactful moments, other than, the day you get married and the day your kids are born, and there's other milestone moments along the way. In the best possible way, this is one of them. And maybe even more so because it's not about me and it's not about us, like it's about
She would be so happy though. She would be so happy right now.
this all started when my dad was sick. That's where the idea came from. Never, ever, ever thinking that it would have. I talk about the ripple effect all the time. I I talk about choosing the good and being the good. Like, what you have done is the greatest representation of being the good. And this maybe have been prompted because of what happened to my mom. But this is all about you, and because of you, and thanks to you, and I know that both my parents are for a lot of reasons they are grateful and they are proud. I I am. I'm in awe of the gesture. I don't know how else to say it. I can't even I can't release the emotions. I don't know how else to say it. You know me. I don't normally not have words, and I don't. I can't shut up all the time, and thank you does not even come close. I I want to thank you individually and I want to thank you collectively, and I can't. And as I was seeing names in there, I'm just overwhelmed by the outpouring of love. No, that's me talking about my funeral. Thank you. Thank you. Um, this means more to me and my family than clearly I am able to articulate right now. I'm hoping at some other point I will have more eloquent words than what is failing me.
We usually can't shut you up.
I know.
if it's any consolation, I'm not normally a nervous person, and I have been a mess. A mess. For days.
So wait, she texted me and said that I needed to come over on my way home from work today. And I'm like, why? What is going on? Why do I need to come over? And she wouldn't tell me any reason why or why I needed to stop there or anything. So I was like, okay, I'll stop and pick up Lou. She's like, oh no, you can't pick up Lou. And I'm like,
It's like, you need to come alone.
You need to come alone. And I'm like, oh God, what is possibly going on that I need to not come with Lou? So.
Well, I open the door and you've got this look on your face. And I'm like, oh, okay, some knucklehead showed up and they want to just come up here and be stupid. And then you get this look like, oh no, you need to open the door right now. And then you're like, somebody's here, and you wouldn't tell me who was here.
All I say is we have a special guest.
Yeah, but
No,
usually,
it's just me.
like it's a goof. Like I'm like, oh, and then you're like, Lisa's here. I'm like,
He's like, okay.
why is
it's
Lisa here?
Why is
Okay.
Lisa here?
And I'm like looking at you like, did you know she was coming? Like I got things to do. I don't know. Like I don't have time for this.
Like, yeah.
And then you gave me like this serious look, and then like I felt this radiating pain down my left arm for some reason.
Good. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Not that you felt the radiation pain.
Boy, wouldn't that have been awesome?
Oh, would not have been awesome. But you know what? I could save your life. So you're
To have a God, I don't know what to. I can't.
I know. That's
I
how
can't.
I felt today too.
You don't need to. This is being done so that all of the people who love you can see this moment. You can process it for as long as you want to process it. This moment is happening so that everyone who loves you and...
How did you people keep this secret from me?
I don't know. I don't know. God bless every one of you. I don't
had
know.
No
I thought
idea.
for sure
Neither did
there
I.
was no way. I mean,
That's why
hundreds
when
of
she-
people.
When she texted me, she's like, you need to come over. I'm like, why?
But that's why you're like, you
I
don't
thought
know
for
who's here,
sure.
and I'm like,
I thought
no.
for sure. I was. God bless you all. You can keep hundreds of you, hundreds.
How did you people do this?
I don't know.
Every message was
You don't
strongly
need to
worded
right
so
now.
as not to tell you.
Oh,
what
you
was
threatened
going-
them.
Yeah.
Oh, you sent them one of those messages.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, thank you guys all so much for,
Keeping it a secret.
keeping the spirit of this and allowing it to come to fruition because Lou being the person that he is, I knew that if this got to him,
Oh yeah. He hates surprises.
it would not be allowed to progress the way that it has because things being done for him isn't really his shtick.
But this
So,
He
well, look,
loves
this has
it.
nothing.
no,
wait,
of course it's
this
not,
has
but
nothing to
no,
do
it's
like
something that you never would have asked for
no.
on your mother's
Never.
behalf, and
Never.
I was honored to be in a position to be able to organize what you never could have
Right.
asked for yourself.
Correct.
And and it was a gift to all of us because every single person who I reached out to and who contributed to this effort was so relieved and happy to have some outlet to express to you in a tangible way what you meant to them and your family. And you guys, I am seeing the totals being posted. This is exactly what I was hoping for when this went public. I could not reach out to you all personally, but I do see that it's over 17.5 right now. And
So, wait, let me just
I
tell
love
you
you
something.
all so much.
Let me tell you something crazy. So Lou loves to give surprises. So we'll get to a point, and Lou will be like, "Okay, get up at this time. We're going out," and we're like, "Where are we going? Just get ready. We're going out." And we're like, "Where are we going?" And he will never tell us where we're going, what we're doing, who we're seeing, what food we're eating, nothing. So for this to happen in honor of his mother, I had no inkling and he had no inkling,
Thank
is
you all.
absolutely incredibly amazing. And just a little tidbit again about my mother-in-law. She loved children. If she could have had 10 children, she would have had 10. She had 2 boys, Lewis and my brother-in-law Fred, who are very different human beings. They are night and day. Okay? When I say night and day, I spent 4 days with my brother-in-law and his fiance, with my husband and my 2 kids. And they absolutely are night and day. And my brother-in-law...
Carrie's Ray says, Lisa was very clear about the secret, but in a loving way. That's quite a nice qualifier, but...
The shush emoji is very high in my rankings right now.
Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. They're very different. And my mother-in-law, this is going to be amazing that this wish is granted in her honor because she loved kids. She absolutely loved kids, and she lived for her 2 grandchildren. She lived for them. And to know that this is going to happen for a child in need, my mother-in-law would have given her life for a child in need. What is James Iserin saying?
She said she threatened us.
I could see Lisa doing that. By
In an articulate way.
Yeah, in a very nice way. Definitely articulate. She speaks very, very articulate. So I agree. But she did it.
You're all angels.
Like, that's amazing.
You're all angels. I mean, the fact that nobody...
She did it.
You know what? It speaks volumes because if, out of the hundreds of you, any one of you could have decided to take the reins and the surprise or the whatever and take it upon yourselves to have that moment with Lou in the last Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 5 days. And none of you did. And I none of you took that away from him. And this moment, no one in the hundreds of people stole that moment, this moment. And I can't tell you enough how grateful I am. I didn't think it was possible going forward. Like I didn't, what?
Zach says if we talked, we'd be melted down into a new core memory set called Snitches.
It's true. No, but I'm serious. Like Zach Brown.
I love you, Zach. That's great.
I love you, Zach. I need to just watch back and read all of this. You guys, I seriously, like, I don't know how this didn't get back to them. Setting aside my my subtle threats.
They were.
But no, I thank you all for giving me a way to channel what I was feeling in the last week into something tangible. And I needed this at least as much as all of you did. Jody, I love you so much. I love you so much. Thank you for everything that you've done this week as well.
And this is, again, it's not even about my mom or my dad, and certainly about me. This is a moment to be enjoyed and celebrated by all of you because you are the ones who did it. Like, be very proud of what you have done and really let it sink in. And that's the reason why we have the families come to Marathon Weekend, because really let it sink in that whether your donation was $1 or anything above, like, that makes a real difference in the life of somebody that needs it. And we talk about magic and we talk about family and we talk about all these things. But until you sort of see the actual result of your action, you don't realize the real impact that it has on somebody. It's why I started it. It's why I wanted to donate to Make-A-Wish from the very beginning, because I didn't want money just to go somewhere and nobody see the benefit of it. Somebody said, in a year that has been marked by so much awful, awful news, and sadness and disappointment, you are an incredibly bright light. I hate you so much. And you're a proof that there is good in this world.
For sure.
And if anybody doubts that, this is an incredible example of that, and you should be very proud. I am honored I'm honored to have you as my friends.
And family. So let me just say something too. Like when Lou and I came up with the dream team and the running team, we wanted everyone to be a part of something. And you are a lifetime member. You can donate $5, you can donate $10. We never ask for the donation up front. We use the honor system, and everyone that has donated is an amazing part of making a difference in this world today. So you are choosing the good for sure. And I just want to say to everyone that has donated in the past and in the future, and to this tribute to my mother-in-law, you are making her so proud right now because of the child and children that we are able to recognize and grant their wish to in this unfortunately crazy world that we are in right now. So thank you on behalf of my family and my kids and my husband and the Dream Team project that was created. And it's an amazing thing. And our running team family and the WDW radio family and the Nation family are an amazing, incredible group of people. So thank you.
So getting back to Roger Rabbit,
Really?
We were watching downstairs.
Yeah, I was like, when she gonna stop?
I will when I came back on Monday and I wrote something, I said that I would never forget what you have done in terms of your outpouring of love and the flowers and the cards and the soup and the cupcakes and everything else in between. I said I would never forget it. And I meant that. I will never forget tonight. I will never, ever forget tonight. I will carry this with me forever. And as I get older and you start thinking about things like legacy and what we leave behind and the impact that we have while we're here for a very short time, like this right here, leaving my family and kids out of the equation, like this right here, just being a part of this and being just able to witness what you have done, it's one of the happiest and proudest moments I have ever felt, to the point that I don't have the words. Thank you does not does not even come close. Did you know about this? You knew about it too?
They just found out. Yeah. She just found out today.
I told Jana after work, and she let the kids know.
They just found out before your show. While we were hanging out downstairs.
Now, how am I supposed to top this next week? What am I supposed to do? You know, you've all probably heard me say, some of you probably more often than others, that I have never been about the numbers, and I don't care, and I don't look, and I don't measure. And she just opened up her laptop to make a wish page.
We're over 18.
Over 18. Then you can get Lisa's kids too if they want one.
No.
Just kidding. Okay.
So this is what everybody whole time.
So I sent the tribute to Lisa when we did the tribute to your mother. And she took that beautiful picture of your mother and ran with it. And here we are.
Well, this is not how I expected tonight to go.
Come here, Nick. Close the door. And they have to bring the whole family. They have all the cats here.
It's Aladdin and Jasmine.
They heard and they wanted to just
They heard the news.
say hello.
This is your family, just so you know, like it or not. Or this,
Oh.
was that Aladdin? Was that Jasmine?
Oh.
Come here.
It's okay.
Come here, kitty.
Oh, she's
I
stuck
know.
on my ring.
Oh.
That's why. Let go, let go, let go. There we go.
What? What? Look. Say hi. Say hi. It's a pop filter. It's fine.
You're crazy. Oh my gosh. It's just like scrolling. Here, Mary. That's wild. Oh, okay. All right, you can guys can go. Okay. Bye, guys. Thank you. Have fun. Anyway.
I don't even. I was saying I'm not about numbers. I don't care about numbers. I don't care about downloads. I'd never cared about our group or our page being the biggest one on Facebook or what the numbers were. Like you can see, I don't push and market anything because I don't care because it's the quality. It is the quality of the community and the people that are in that mean more than some sort of vanity metric and a number. And you've heard me speak at conferences about the importance of that and how I use you as an example of what real community is. And this is the greatest testament and example of that.
Yeah.
And it's all you. And it's all like, it's you. You did this on your own. So you should be very proud of what you have done. And I'm honored that my mom and my family was able to help be a part of making this happen.
But none of this would ever have happened if you didn't realize that everyone in this box right now and everyone in your community was not a follower or a fan, right? But a family member.
For sure.
Because fans don't do this for you. They don't. This is because of these people, but these people are here because of you.
I have to write that down because I'm going to use that in my presentation. Fans don't do this. Fans.
So many, many years ago, Lou said, when he was a lawyer, I'm going to write this book and I'm going to start this podcast. And I said, do it. We'll get there. We'll make it happen. We'll make it work. And you know what? The money will come. And the people,
Audio tours are still on sale for $10, by the way.
No, they're not. Please. But I have some of the bestest friends in the whole wide world that I have met from this community that Lou has built. So I am so grateful for what everyone has done for us and for the community and the people I've met. And you know, I'm a true believer in the reason why you cross paths with people is there's a reason in life. So there's a reason in life and why we have crossed paths.
And I hope, as amazing as this is, I hope that this is not the end of it. I hope that this I hope that ripple effect continues on, and what you've seen happen here, like in the last 2 days, will continue to expand beyond the confines of this group. Not about this story, but in hopefully inspiring other people to do good for and with others as well. You are an incredible example of the what I think a lot of people, especially like in online spaces and strive to try and achieve. And it's a lot more difficult than people think. But you absolutely are. You are an exceptional example um, of what community and family means, and thank you. You are. You're not fans. You're family," said Julie, and she's right.
That's agree. I agree.
And when this is all over, man, I owe you guys a lot of hugs. Like a lot of hugs.
Well, yeah, when this is all over. It isn't going to happen before then. But did you even touch on, unfortunately, Marathon Weekend not happening and Princess canceled and all that?
It's okay.
We're
It'll be.
sad.
We're gonna
Lots
do.
of good happening.
It'll happen. I know.
We're gonna do something. We're gonna do something in January. Don't worry.
I
My
know.
little wheels are spinning.
I agree. Mine are too. Julie, I love you, Julie. You're amazing.
All right.
Yep.
I don't know.
I think maybe some downtime to
Yeah.
page through.
I need to.
messages
I need to
and
present. I
process.
need to process this.
Thank you for allowing us to do this in a way that allowed everyone that loves
Thank you
and-
for being smart enough not to ask me, because you know I would have said no.
Oh, we were not going to ask you.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Not
you.
that I didn't want it to be done, but I don't.
Oh, it was a secret for one main reason, and that was that it never would have happened if you had known.
Yeah.
Never. I mean, that was the whole reason why it needed to be quiet, because it needed to come to fruition before it was presented to you. And knowing how private you are, I was so torn about coming here tonight. But consider this evening a service to all the people that love you and allowing them to be a part of this moment. And I thank you for that. And no one here expects you to process this right now. This was to allow the people that love you and contributed to this effort to be a part of this moment. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. My mom thanks you. My dad thanks you. And I know that the lives of the family that you are about to, the families that you are going to impact with this, thank you too. You are the good. You are the good. And I love you clearly more than I'm able to express. I will never forget this. And I will see you soon.
So I know that your parents are looking down right now, and they are so proud of you for what you have achieved and you've accomplished, and for this amazing community that you've created.
We. This is not about me at all.
Just saying.
It has nothing to do with me. It's always been a team effort since the very beginning.
I know, but they're really proud. And so am I. So it's been a long haul, but every day.
I love you guys. Thank you.